everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Sama if you're new here, and I used to be a Muslim and also a New Ager, and then I found Jesus Christ. So I feel like I have some strange angles going on in my past, but I use that to hopefully inform you of how wonderful it is to come to Christ. I'm truly here to sing the praises of the Lord because of what he has done in my life since I was saved, and I'm just here to share that on this platform. Other than that, I don't know what I have to offer. Basically nothing. Today I wanted to share a story with you. I kind of compare it to my experience being a Muslim and being a New Age. I'm stealing this from my husband, okay? So credit to my wonderful husband. This is something that he said when he first came to Christianity after being an atheist. And my husband specifically had a supernatural experience that brought him to Christ. We have been through our ups and downs in our relationship prior to marriage, and there came a certain breaking point for us that required him to kind of we split up, okay? I don't know why I'm beating around the bush. We split up for a little while we needed to both work on ourselves. And at that time, I think because he had kind of hit rock bottom, and I'm not trying to say that like it's because he left me, like I know I'm, hot stuff, but it's not because of that, okay? It was just, there was a lot going on. Anyways, so he literally had an encounter with God, like the God, and he was an atheist prior to that. So because of that, he went on this like really this exploration of whether he was going crazy. Like he went to a therapist and a psychiatrist, and he also explored other religions. Specifically, he spent a year going to the masjid or the mosque, and spent a lot of time with Muslims while he was also pursuing Christ because, I can imagine for someone who doesn't know what just happened to them, I don't blame him, okay? He was trying to find answers, and of course, he did eventually come to give his life to Christ, but I appreciate that about him. He was very open-minded, and he did want to compare and contrast the two religions. So both of us kind of have this like exposure to Islam, obviously me more so than him. He noticed when he was within the Islamic community, and this has absolutely nothing to do with how the people were. They all treated him very well. They were all very polite and welcoming and warm and nice. And obviously they wanted him to take the Shahada. So they were very much like introducing him to the theology of Islam. My husband, I remember him telling me, he was like, I find that the God of Christianity is just he's so much more interested in having a personal relationship with us than Allah. And I completely agree. I felt that when I was a Muslim, Allah was like, he was in the heavens, okay? He was in the sky, and like he provided us with a list of rules and this code of conduct that we were to abide by. Specifically, I just felt like there was this arm's length distance, okay, where I didn't feel connected, my husband didn't feel connected when he was going through that process. And then while I was in New Age, the universe was very neutral. So it was like, okay, if I want to manifest this outcome for myself, the universe will respond. If I'm kind to myself, the universe will respond. But it was very much like self-directed. Like I had to be the one in control, in the driver's seat, deciding what I wanted for my life and how to change my thought patterns and my behavior to get myself to find that happiness and fulfillment. You guys, Jesus is so good. Like, I don't know how else to express that. He will meet you halfway. He will meet you more than halfway. I was like in the trenches of life, okay, when I got saved. I remember, if you have seen my other videos, you know that I was kind of like at rock bottom regarding my career and just not feeling fulfilled. I was feeling very, very empty. I am just so grateful that the Lord met me when I didn't deserve it. Like, I was so anti-Christian for a long time because A, I was raised Muslim, and like Christianity was like heretical at that point, and B, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was going after God and being the right person that God wanted me to be, but I was it was wrong. You know what I mean? And like, I see that now in hindsight, but I was so sincere and earnest in my journey. I really was. And I think because of that, like, God has been so good in just forgiving me and just like opening doors that I really didn't deserve. Like, now that I think about it, I'm like, wow, I was such a stupid, blasphemous sinner. And God just, he loved me anyways. And he led me to Christ anyways. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to share the story of right after I was, baptized, and like a few months after that, when it all clicked in and it went from my head to my heart. I talk about that in my testimony video. I was like, wow, I hate my life, but I'm going to just give it over to God because I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't come to Christ out of desperation, but I was like, nothing's working in my life, and I just want, like, Jesus is such a great role model. Like, he was just so good at walking through life with peace and not getting offended, but also like having conviction. It was so nice. And I was like, I just want to be like Jesus. Like, please help me do that. I remember I was working. I was fortunately working from home, which I know is like a huge privilege nowadays, but I was still upset about everything. But I was working from home and the doorbell rang. And I went to answer the door. I was alone. I was in my PJs because I just gave up on looking decent or professional at some point. And I opened the door, and there was a gentleman who, I think he belonged to a church. I'm not entirely sure what denomination. I apologize. And there was like a language barrier. He wasn't very fluent in English. And he was asking me if I had been saved. And I was like, oh yeah, I am a Christian, by the way. And I was in the thick of work. So I was like, hey, I'm so sorry, but goodbye. Like, I need to go. However, I see that you have some literature in your hands. May I just get your literature? Because I appreciate what you're doing. It takes a lot of guts to be ringing doorbells and then getting doors slammed in your face when you're just trying to spread the good word. So give me what you have, right? And he was like resistant, like he wanted to talk to me further, but I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm at work. I cannot entertain you right now. Please give me that brochure. And for some reason, it was spirit inspired, but I was very insistent. Like, I wanted the thing that was in his hand. So he gave it to me, and then he just turned around and left, which is odd. Like, I thought maybe that would, like, if someone's asking you for the brochure or whatever, you think that would be an in to be like, oh, so do you want to discuss that? But I don't know, perhaps I was a little too aggressive, a little too aggro, if you will, about getting that pamphlet. And he just he panicked and he turned around and left. Like, there was no goodbye exchange. He just left. At that time, I was asking God to please help me with my burnout. And I was just so tired. So, sorry, that was my cat, obviously. Okay, this is what the little pamphlet said. It said, I will give you rest. And I promise I did not know that that's what it said. I did not know that it was going to say that when the gentleman handed it to me. So it says, I will give you rest. Okay. And then this is after I closed the door and I went back upstairs to my workstation, and it says, Matthew 11:28, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. What the heck? And then it says, God prepared the seventh day Sabbath for us who are weary of repetitive daily life. All of you who worked hard for 6 days, rest with God on the seventh day. Genesis 2:2 and 3. On the seventh day he rested from all his work, and God blessed the seventh day and made it holy. All right, okay. It was like pretty relevant. And I was a little shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I remember I just went back to work after I received this, and after I read it, I had this moment where I was like, oh my goodness, I need to say thank you to that gentleman. Like, he basically delivered a message that really spoke to my soul, right? So I ran back to the door, and I think this happened about like 2 minutes after I received this little card. And I ran back, I opened the door, and he was nowhere. Okay, so I live in a small townhouse. I do not live in a nice fancy house. I have a very small townhouse. And so, like, there's a row of us, there's a row of our units. And I don't know, if you're going door to door, I imagined within a 2-minute time frame, he would still be in my field of view, you know, like either one direction or the other. I would have been able to see him maybe knocking on someone else's door. And I specifically remember when I first opened the door to greet him, he had colleagues. Like he wasn't alone. He was working with a couple other women who were, you know, one was across the street, one was like a couple units down. My friends, they were all gone. It's like they disappeared into the night, except it was broad daylight. It was so strange. Half an hour later, I was like, what just happened? And then I called my husband and I was like, you know what? I think, you know, I've been asking for some sort of sign, some sort of message on how to give my soul some rest from the daily grind. And then here it was. And it was scriptural, okay? Like, how do you cannot refute this. Okay, so here's the thing, okay? When you come to Christ and then you are told to do something, it is hard to be obedient sometimes. We all know that. We all know that we're supposed to be obedient. We all know that if God is telling us to do something, that we should just shut up and do it. It's really hard. I cannot tell you, like, I wanted to leave my job. Wouldn't that be wonderful to just, for God to be like, you hate your job? Go ahead and quit. Like, I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. It was so hard, but I remember being like, I have to quit now. I don't know what's going to happen to me. You know, I think I might end up like in a cardboard box with my 2 cats in a week's time, because that's how much I need every paycheck. But I listened. I was like, okay, I'm just going to freaking do this. I'm going to do this. And I can't. God has provided. Not in like buckets and buckets of gold. Obviously not. But my bills were paid after I quit. And before I decided to pursue higher education, aka go back to college, God has been so good. So good. And this is like, I just came to Christ. You know, it's not like I have been a good, obedient Christian girl for years and years, and now God is rewarding me for my good works, you know? I was on the bad path. I was headed straight to hell before this. So for this to happen to me, for God to show me his grace literally right away, like, how we serve a good God, you guys. That's all. I just want to say that, okay? I guess I'll keep this short. I just want to say, like, if you need help, just pray. You know? Pray, people. Actually, I have the free Holy Bible app on my phone. No, I'm not sponsored. No, I don't even know who the developers are. It's called Bible. That's the name of the app. And the verse of the day is Philippians 4:6. This is the NLT version, by the way. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. I will be quiet. I've had coffee, so I'm a little hyper. But also I'm very excited. I am very excited about this. And I just want to rejoice in what God has done for me thus far. I am still dirt poor, I'm not gonna lie, but that's okay, because I would rather have Jesus than have lots of money, and I still have a roof over my head, so it is all by the grace of God. Okay, thank you for joining me. That's it. Thank you so much for just the absolutely overwhelming flood of positive comments. I'm really touched. Like, you guys are really nice. I don't deserve that at all. Thank you. If you like this, I just want to kind of share some stories about my life and my perspective, you know, before, after Christianity, that sort of thing. So if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe. If you like this video, please like, and I will continue to be here. Goodbye.